Wow, the Monsterverse launch weekend, yeah, that was a bit of a roller coaster. If you were online, you already know chaos, the good, the bad, and the very glitchy beta release of Monsterverse. Now, listen, I am totally rooting for more of these games in the fantasy fashion space. There are more than enough spaces for games like Royale High, Dress to Impress, but something did feel a little bit off this weekend. A lot of players that bought the game passes early through the Roblox shop when the hype was building and the launch hits. And yeah, it turns out the passes did not show up in the game. So it turns out that you have to buy the game passes inside of the game to actually use them. The outside purchases, those are still a bit messy, still buggy, and still confusing. Not the vibe on launch day, and it really confused a lot of players. Then, next, the players loaded into game as soon as it released, and boom, purple screen of death. No intro, no gameplay, just purple. Nobody could join the game. But luckily, the Monsterverse team seen this and they patched it pretty quickly. Like within the first 30 minutes, most players were able to get in. But most still missed the intro cutscene explaining how we died and entered in the Monsterverse. It was actually pretty cool and a bit spooky, so it was kind of sad that players did miss out on that. And then the Discord lockdown happened. As the bugs started piling up, the Discord went into a silent lockdown. There was no chat, no chaos, just silence. But eventually it did reopen once things did calm down, but yikes, launch stress was real over there. And players also complained about missing their combat sticks, the fairy daisy was not appearing, and clothing was appearing and disappearing, and there was the issue of the locked items. The developers did clarify that the clothing thing with the locked clothing pieces, apparently it's a compatibility issue between body types and it's not a bug. So the items that are locked in your inventory or the shop, those are just not added yet for the avatar body types, but they are still porting the assets over. Then players started losing their Ghoulers, which is the in-game currency. So once the developers did solve this, they kind of panicked too. They went ahead to extend the Huntress Spirit Collection, which you guys might also know as the free ghost set in the shop, so that players had more time and they promised compensation codes. So far, they have actually dropped one, which is MV Homecoming. And beta life, we get it. Bloxburg, they played beta for years. So the bugs aren't surprising, but paired with everything else, it is definitely looking like a rough start. Then the comparisons started trickling in. This is to be expected when you have games so similar within the space. After the bugs settled and the players started exploring the game, one thing became a very big and main topic. The assets looked just like Royale High. And look, the Royale High versus Monsterverse rivalry has existed since day one, but this time the comparisons felt more serious. People weren't saying they were inspired, they were saying almost or are identical. Twitter and Destin Del Rey started a thread over on Twitter where they started exposing some of the examples, like the luggage cart, the office layout, the water fountains with the same angle placements, the lanterns with the hanging plants. There's also the hay bale stage area, which many pointed this one out. The dorm halls, they all had the seemingly matching ceiling with the symmetrical door hallway, the long rug that went through the hall as well. The yard tables with the built-in benches and the umbrella was the one that stood out the most to me. Similar fashion items, and of course the spooky ghosts from Wickery Cliffs and Royale High, and the Monsterverse courtyard ghost looked eerily similar. Not saying anything is copied, but there are some differences throughout both of the maps and the games, but the similarities people definitely noticed. And the reactions, well, some fans are defending, some are side-eyeing, and some are just calling it blatant theft. So, where's the community now? Well, Monsterverse is holding around 5 to 6 average players after launch weekend, And some fans are loyal, they're excited, some are, to be expected, cautious, and some are already tapping out. Meanwhile, the Royale High developers, it's silent over there. Night Barbie even said on stream that she's been too busy developing updates to look out for anything related to Monsterverse, which low-key sounds like, I just want no part of the drama, thanks. So, are you sticking around for the future of the updates, hoping that it polishes into something amazing, or did launch week tell you everything that you needed to know? Let me know all of your thoughts. I think there's going to be a lot, and I'm going to be reading all of the comments. And of course, I'll be watching this all unfold. Don't forget to like and hype today's video, and I'll see you here in the next one.